Let's tackle Google Ads first. And I already spoke about some of the solutions here, but the first one that is very easy to implement, and you should be doing this on a weekly or monthly basis where you're looking at the actual search terms report of what terms are being clicked on to trigger your ads. And we want to set up a really comprehensive negatives list. So you're going to put this in. It's a list of basically all of the terms and words that you want to use, that when anyone's searching those words, you want to kick them out. So we want to immediately use in that negatives list things like pro bono, free, affordable, cheap, things like that, right? Then you also have other lawyers in the market. Then you have other things that are the right words, but not really topical. Things like immigration lawyer salaries, different things like that, how to be an immigration lawyer. And so you're going through and then further filtering these educational type queries. And that's all great. It's going to cut out, like 70% of the bad clicks that you don't want. But it is a kind of ongoing type of process. And so there's a little report inside the Google Ads dashboard that is called search terms. And you can actually see what people search to trigger your ad. It's kind of impossible to knock out every single negative right from the start. Something like 50% of searches on Google on a daily basis are completely new. They've never been searched before. So you're not going to completely stamp that out. The process we use for this is that on a weekly basis, we go through, look at the search terms that have been added or that have been used to trigger your ads. And if we spot any that are new or different, we're going to add that to the negatives list. And so, yes, you do get some unqualified leads, but then you're further filtering that process, right? And so you're setting yourself up to eliminate a lot of those leads moving forward. And so our approach with this is to continue to rinse and repeat that until we hit that sweet spot where after a couple of iterations of that, the quality of those leads starts to get really, really good, because the instances of non-qualified search terms that we're seeing goes down so substantially that it's no longer a big issue, right? And so the vast majority of these leads coming through are actually pretty good quality. And so this is something you can take to your strategist, or you can talk with, if you're running ads yourself, you can take and just, have them run you through like, hey, what are we doing on the negative list side? Can I give you some other, angles that, that I've heard about? And it should be a pretty easy step to get into. And of course, we can do it for you as well. So don't feel shy as far as reaching out, because we'd be happy to help with that too. Even if it's just to take a look at your campaign, no obligation, we can just audit it. It'll take us about 10 minutes. And, we're happy to just like give that info back to you, and maybe we work together down the line. So with SEO, it's more complicated. It's, why we even do SEO, right? Or why not stick with ads? Well, in the long run, SEO is going to be the most cost-efficient channel for you to acquire clients. It's really giving you the best foundation for a holistic, sustainable solution for lead generation. Comparison to ads, you are always going to pay a premium for that ad, whereas with SEO, your cost per acquisition starts up here, and then it's going to keep going down over and over. So the first thing to understand with SEO is that not all traffic is good traffic. So we've experienced this with a handful of clients where we're doing, a good job on SEO. We start to get all that traffic, and, sometimes it becomes too much where they're getting so much traffic that it's hard for them to sustain in terms of having an efficient intake pipeline. Or they want to keep their practice at a certain size, and so they just don't want to deal with that many inquiries coming in. So in those situations where an article we've written or a page that we've created somehow takes off for a certain keyword, and this happens, it's not by design, but if we're creating a website, a comprehensive website about immigration law, we're going to write pages about other aspects that are not specifically for immigration lawyer in your city, right? It might be about the USCIS or some organization or court. Sometimes those take off because there's kind of a soft spot in the search results, and then you become like the number one option on the internet for people searching, what should I wear to court or something, something funny, weird like that, right? And then you were just like inundated with all of these, inquiries about, shopping for court or, something like that. Just an example, right? So we want to identify those quote bad keywords that you're kind of unintentionally ranking for, and then start to make adjustments on those pages, and some other strategies to basically reduce the importance or prevalence and visibility of those pages. And so we call this process a de-optimization, right? And so we want those pages often to stay on the website. Some folks will ask us like, hey, we just want to eliminate these, pages that are not, not the good pages, right? Not the good pages that are bringing in the leads. And, if you want to be good at SEO, you want to have a good website, you have to have those pages, because Google ultimately is looking at whether or not you're an authority and you have a comprehensive amount of content on the topic. And so you can't really just cherry pick like, well, I'm going to just cut out these 20 pages that are about immigration and fill out, the knowledge graph of what Google sees as important for an immigration lawyer to have on their website, because we just want the good pages, right? It doesn't really work like that. You need to have the educational stuff to rank for the high intent stuff. So the core things that we do to fix this problem are we're going to de-optimize the page. What we mean by that is we are, the same things that we do to get a page higher in the search results by looking at specific frequencies of how many times we're using the keyword, we're talking about different entities, different things that relate to it, and kind of, build this page that's built to rank. We kind of want to deconstruct that. And we want to reduce some of those keywords so we are not actively ranking for it. We're still getting the credit of having a page about that topic, but we're kind of like, sneaky not in a sneaky way, but telling Google, hey, we don't really want to rank for this anymore. And so to not rank for it, we want to kind of do the opposite of the things we do to rank, right? So that includes de-optimizing the page from a content perspective. Another thing we also like to do is reduce call to actions. So on that page, we might actually swap out the template of the page so there are no call to actions, right? So what we mean by that are buttons or areas where a potential client can get in contact with you, like a phone number, a click to call, email form, stuff like that. We just take those completely off. The reason there is that we want to kind of like look at all of the angles of how someone would get to that page and then call you and remove that, right? So that's how we're trying to cut those bad leads out. And it's another good tactic, because a lot of the times people just get not frustrated, but like they're going to impulsively click the click to call button, thinking, well, I don't even want to read this whole page. I'm just going to call in and see if they'll give me the answer, right? Just kind of fishing for free legal advice or free legal information. That's what we want to avoid, right? So make it more difficult for them to do that, because they don't really have any skin in the game. But for you and your team, that's time. That's time you're taking away or tying up your phone lines for better, more qualified leads to come in. So take those call options out, take those CTAs out, and it's a great way to lower the number of calls on those pages.